Hi, everyone. This is Lori McIntosh with eXp Realty, and I'm here today with my friend and ex-leadership classmate of 2024 for Auburn, Christian Mello. How are you? Thanks for meeting with me. We finally made it happen.
Yes, long time coming. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I am in his office. He has his own private office with 2 windows. How'd you get that?
Yeah, well, when when you have one, it's a little bit harder to jump out of it, so you might as well get two. Now you got options, right?
Wow, jumping out of windows. Sounds like you sell insurance.
You betcha.
I don't know why I came up with that. Tell me about your career.
Sure. So obviously, I'm an insurance broker. I do commercial insurance here in Auburn, but I actually work up and down the state of California. I work with a lot of municipalities, fire departments, emergency service organizations, schools, towns, that sort of thing. So that's what I spend my time doing here for the agency. It's been a pretty interesting niche and one that not many brokers throughout California or even the U.S. really get very involved in.
Really, it's a unique niche.
Correct.
Okay, what's the name of this agency we're talking about?
George Peterson Insurance Agency. Yeah, right here in town. So Fred Vitus, a longtime Auburn legend and very involved in the community. He has had Vitus Insurance for a very long time here in Auburn. George Peterson purchased it a number of years ago, and Fred is still involved in the agency, but we still, kind of collaborate with him. But we operate as George Peterson Insurance here now. So
And where are we located? I think I drove down Cherry Avenue. I've actually been here a few times with me having meetings here.
yep, yeah. So we're right off of Cherry Avenue, Monkey Cat. Take a left up there and go up the hill, and that's where we're located. But we actually have 13 other offices throughout California. We do have an
Hmm.
office in Montana. So we are a pretty large insurance firm. We are independent agents. We service commercial, personal, and then health and benefits as well. So there's pretty much a place for insurance within our organization for any type of business or person that needs it. So
Okay. Now tell me, how did you get into this business? You seem like a young guy that isn't like your typical guy that shows up wherever. If you drive up to Tahoe, for example, because I
sure,
know I called you before, and you're like, "I'm in Tahoe, working up here," and I'm like, "Oh, poor thing."
sure. Yeah, no, I cover some ground.
Yeah.
So I actually I started while I was in college. I got licensed at 18
Really?
and started insurance. I was working for an organization. I was actually the market rep for George Peterson Insurance with
You're
an
a man on
insurance
a mission.
organization. Yeah, so it was kind of a neat situation. I was playing football and then coaching football at college, and then working for an organization that sold insurance to George Peterson and other agencies. So I traveled all over the western states for about 3.5 years doing that, and then about a year and a half of just being an underwriter. So I got to see the side of the business at an early age that was kind of interesting. Basically, how it all works. The consumer goes to an insurance agent, gets the insurance from the insurance agent, but the insurance agent has to go to a carrier or a what's called a surplus lines or wholesale managing operation to get hard to place coverage, and that's what I was doing for the insurance brokers at the time. So I was a piece or a wheel in the cog, or a spoke in the cog, I guess we'll say. So
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. You
yeah.
sounded like you described a lender being. I forgot to mention I'm a realtor,
Mhm.
and have to talk to lenders all the time, and you could almost cross paths there.
Sure.
And they have to deal with underwriters and what they have to say. Oh.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've been in the business now for 10 years. I've been with George Peterson for 5 years, but I was with the other organization 5 years prior to that. So a total of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up around the business. My father is also working for our organization. My sister's with our organization. So it was pretty neat when I got the opportunity to come over and work for George Peterson Insurance, because it's family, family members.
That's pretty lucky right
Yeah,
there.
very
So,
fortunate.
did you go to college in California?
I did Santa Rosa Junior College. Yeah,
Santa Rosa.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're from up north. Tell me, so it sounds like you've lived in California your whole life. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Tried and true. Yes, I grew up in Humboldt County, in Eureka. Parents lived in Fortuna, but we really went to school in Eureka, which is very close, basically a
Foggy.
subdivision. Well, yeah, it was foggy in Eureka, nicer weather in Fortuna where we actually lived. So great area, a lot of hardworking people up there. A lot of it's known for logging, and then the other kind of not so great thing in my mind that it's known for is the weed industry or the marijuana industry. That
Hmm.
sense has kind of taken a downturn, and I think the economy has not yet it hasn't revamped yet, and I think that's a kind of a difficult part for some of those smaller, older towns. We have Auburn, Colfax. A lot of the smaller towns have kind of an identity from the past, and it's changed a lot.
Like Guerneville.
Yeah, yeah, it's changed a lot, with the new way of life and living, and so adaptation's a big deal.
Yeah, I used to be a pharmaceutical rep and had Mendocino and Fort Bragg, and I'd
Hmm.
walk into like a bakery in downtown Mendocino wearing a
Hmm.
suit and heels,
Sure.
and people would be like, where's this lady from?"
Hmm.
Because they had a suit on, and it's really artsy, right?
Sure.
But yeah, definitely a different crowd, and but beautiful, really loved it.
Yeah, no, great place to grow up. We have a family ranch out in Mendocino County,
Mm.
outside of Willits, between Willits and Fort Bragg. So I spend a lot of my time. I'm going there actually right after this meeting. So we've been very fortunate to grow up on the coast, and now very fortunate to be, in the Placer County area for
Hmm.
the last 3.5 years. So
Yeah, so are you here to stay?
that's the plan. I have a house now, so yeah.
The young guy's already a homeowner.
Yeah,
That's
kind of
nice.
crazy. So
So, on this ranch, do you have any horses?
no, it's a timber ranch. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a lot
Gotta
of
ask that
redwoods.
question.
No, no. We used to have horses in Fort Bragg, but not anymore. So yeah, it's a large timber ranch. A lot of redwoods, a lot of fir, a lot of oak, and a river right between it. We built a cabin on it with all the redwood from it, and so it's just
Nice.
a little sanctuary.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a good escape for sure.
absolutely. And the best part of it, no service,
Oh, yeah.
no
Oh,
service,
God.
and I hope it stays that
I
way.
would not be able to do my job if I was there. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just have a little Starlink. My mini Starlink follows me around when we go horse camping.
Okay.
Luckily, the husband sets it all up for me.
Yeah, we've looked into that kind of stuff, but honestly, like
You
like I
don't need
said,
it.
I
If you
I,
don't have to,
I want to
why?
turn off the phone on the weekends. The weeks are pretty involved, so if I can get a weekend where I don't have any cell service, I am
I'm not
all
jealous.
about it. Yeah,
So, back to insurance.
sure.
Tell me something that's pretty unique that has happened that you've had to deal with in your career so far that
Yeah.
was pretty typical, or you're like, how am I going to handle this one?
So that's a lot of people. Not to kind of go around your question, I'll get to it, but I think what's important is a lot of people make movies of lawyers, real estate agents, mortgage
Doctors.
brokers, doctors, firefighters. There's a lot of things, right? So when you think of insurance brokers or insurance, you're like, oh my goodness, no
There's no
thanks.
movies about
I
you.
don't want to deal with these people. Number one, it's always a problem. I never see anything. They're fraudulent. There's this, there's that. Like, there's a lot of bad publicity about it, right? Um, However, the industry as a whole, as being somebody who's grown up around it and is entrenched in it for the last 10 years, it's a very, very interesting industry. I can tell you that not one single day has been the same. Not one single account that I have has been the same. You think like, the comment homogenous, like if you have a homogenous bunch of clients, then it's all going to be the same. I've got a whole bunch of homogenous companies that I do insurance for, and they're with all different kinds of different carriers because not any one is the same, and not any insurance product is the same, and the needs. And so there's a lot that goes into it. What I do is not sell insurance. I am more of a consultant. I talk
Right.
to them about,
Same
hey,
here.
this is what it is that you should have or should want. This is what we can get you or may not be able to get you with today's insurance market. Uh, but ultimately, it's about their needs, their wants, and what they feel comfortable with. Some people have money in the bank where, if something were to happen, they're okay taking on that risk because they've saved enough money. Some people don't look at it that way, and so they purchase insurance for things that are tangible, property insurance. Maybe they take a smaller deductible. People with maybe a little extra money in the bank, maybe they can take larger deductibles on their home because they're not as worried about the risk. So,
Hmm.
it's about transfer of risk. whether it's you, the individual that's buying the insurance, or whether you are going to transfer that risk onto the carrier. Either way, someone's going to pay for it, whether it be you as the consumer or the insurance carrier. So that's ultimately kind of what I do and what I explain to clients, and we just try and give them as much information as we can so that they can be informed about it and make a decision that ultimately is what they want out of the insurance product.
So can you still answer my question?
Yeah, maybe you should ask that again.
Tell me something really unusual that
Okay,
just raised your
specific.
eyebrows.
Specific,
Like,
yes.
okay. Since you have a unique situation every single day, what is
Yeah.
the weirdest? How's that? Or
Yeah, gosh,
we
I'm
had to
thinking
call
of
Fred. Fred, help.
quite a few. Well, I would say probably the most recent one. We worked on a fire district in the northern part of the state, and they had some complications to the point where they were going to get shut down because they couldn't afford insurance. They couldn't do this and that, and so um, basically we had gone to 80 different carriers. 80,
80?
80. No one
Okay.
wanted it. I had to go back to the same exact carrier that declined it twice already and plead my case, basically involving. So the way that we got the carrier to kind of recommit after saying no twice was we went to the insured's office, sat down with them. I did a risk assessment, and I said, listen, these are some areas that we really need to clean up, and these are some of the things that I recommend. What can you do in the interim so that we can start to kind of look at it in a better light and make sure that we're taking a proactive approach so that we're not such a bad risk to the marketplace. So we kind of came up with a game plan. We got it together and we wrote it down on paper and showed some of the things that we were doing at the time. Went back to the carrier that had declined twice before and ultimately got an insurance policy for the district that allowed them to continue moving forward.
So that's impressive. Impressive that you changed their mind.
Yeah.
Did you
So
like bring one of these bottles up here with
no,
you?
I wish. No, no. In fact,
It
that
always
district
helps.
is one of the bottles that's
So
up
they
there.
brought you a
Yeah,
gift.
yeah. So it was a very difficult time because you're dealing with not only that account, but you have other clients that you're dealing with day to day. A lot of what I do is deadlines, so I've got a lot of clients that renew on the same exact annual renewal date, and so it kind of bogs me down, and so I'm not able to go here and there. I have to really focus on what is going to be beneficial for time wise and what clients need the most attention at the time. So yeah, it was a very very difficult time. I think it took about 75 days for
Sounds
us
like
to get
a
everything together. We had
escrow gone crazy.
special board meetings throughout that month. There was a regular board meeting I needed to attend. The special board meeting was on a Sunday, I think at like, I don't know, 7 o'clock at night. The whole town showed up. It was pretty involved, but ultimately we got it done, and luckily they were insured and was taken care of. So
That's really good to hear. I know, like, and I've heard the fire chief speak here in Auburn and
mhm,
mention about some of the employees have been injured on the job, and so they're getting full medical care,
mhm,
disability, and they can't come back to work, and
mhm,
then they don't have the funds to hire someone to replace them. So,
yeah,
like Maydo actually is pretty bare bones.
sure.
That's really scary,
Uh,
especially
yeah.
today with the increase in fires. And mainly, I feel like it's arson. I don't know what's going on with people wanting to burn down towns, if they even have a clue of what they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear there's a mental health crisis throughout America right now. I would be hard pressed to say that doesn't have something to do with it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of factors. Obviously, when it comes to arson, I would assume that's pretty high on the list.
I know. I think you should just be punished at the highest level possible if when you get caught.
Yes, yeah, yeah. No, no kidding. And even then, it still doesn't replace a person's life if you're arson related, or was the involvement due to a death in a person that was in a home or somebody's property. It's still, even the highest punishment, it's not going to replace that.
Mm-mm.
So even then, you're kind of sitting there
Well,
going, oof.
animals.
And
I mean,
animals.
I have
Yep.
5 equines,
Hmm.
so it's like, how do I get all these animals out and
Right.
large dogs and cats and all that?
Right.
I mean, you're lucky too. I heard the Placer County sheriff was able to bust, I guess, apprehend an arsonist in Iowa Hill a couple weeks
Yes.
ago,
Yep. Yep.
because that's close to you,
Yeah.
and that's a deep canyon in there.
A lot of fire fuels for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else that you could share that's unfire related? It's like it's always on people's mind living in Northern California. I mean, you just look at the
Fire related.
whole Western United States, and we've got fires everywhere. It's
Sure.
not just here.
Yeah. No, I think you're going back to your point about some of the staffing issues and budgets and so a lot of what I do, I'm involved in a lot of that from an insurance standpoint with the fire departments, towns, municipalities, and that's a hot topic across all of California and even some of the other states that I work in. It's a hot topic right now. Just like us in the insurance industry, we're concerned about over the next 5 years the retirees that are going to happen, and then the lack of new people that we're getting that are qualified, not even just qualified, just new applicants. I mean, it's crazy. But that's really across all the sectors. And then especially you look at some of our public, entities that have things such as sheriffs or fire departments, ambulance services. That stuff is significantly being hindered because you don't have the people. I have got a couple of districts that have shut down certain locations. Maybe they've got 6 stations and they're only running on 4 right now, and it's not because they don't have the funds to provide services. It's because they can't get the applicants,
Where
so
are the applicants?
they just don't want to get into the fire service in certain areas, or they think, what, we want to go ahead and work 3 or 4 days down in the city where we can get more money and maybe a better retirement plan, and then we can just still live here in town. So that's what's happening a lot. I know that Auburn is faced with that. I think when I was talking to the fire chief, they said, or not the fire chief, but the battalion chief, they said that there was like 35 or 40% of their employees don't even live in Auburn.
Right.
And I actually spoke to 2 individuals that live in Sonoma County. I was like, wow, you know.
Yeah, kind of far.
So I think that's a lot. A lot of that's going on. So that's going to be continued some problems for California, but I think just across the U.S. it's going to continue to happen. So the recruitment, not only in the emergency service sector, is going to be a pretty big deal, but also I think just all around in just about everything that's not social media related. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you look at somebody's got a new social media platform every time you open up something. So
Right. I'm just going to be a YouTube influencer.
yeah,
Like, I only do this on the side because I mean I have a
right,
ton of subscribers, like
right,
90.
perfect. That's all you need.
Just kidding. I will tell you this. So I was at the Auburn marketing meeting for realtors this morning, PCAR, which is Placer County Association of Realtors, and an insurance rep came up to me for homeowners insurance,
Mm-hmm.
Wetsky,
Mm-hmm.
with Allstate, and she's the manager, Deetra, and she said that a lady called her yesterday because she saw the video that I did with her. So
Oh,
I'm
good,
like, hey, it's
good.
working.
Yeah, good.
Christian's going to get tons of business now.
Yeah,
No, just kidding. I mean, it's all about me anyway.
it's the Lori McIntosh show, right?
That's right. That's right. So you have to let's talk about how you and I met. What
Yes.
what got you into leadership Auburn through the chamber?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it already, but a lot of what I do is not necessarily Auburn based for business. And so I wanted to be able to kind of know Auburn a little bit better. So I was speaking with one of our owners here in the office, Nick Abrahamson, and he had mentioned that he did the Auburn leadership a few years back, actually with Jackie Weston. They were in the class together. So he called Jackie that day and got me on the phone with her, and the rest is kind of history. So we got involved, and at the same time, I was also talking with Fred and Steve, who are also very involved with Chamber and a lot of stuff going on in Auburn. And they were like, "Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it." So I'm thinking, okay, all right, great. I don't have a lot of time, but okay, I'll do it. Which I'm really, really fortunate that I did. I got to meet a lot of good people like yourself. I got to be around a lot of people that I probably would have never known or got the chance to spend time with. and understand some of the things that they do, not only in their career but like their personal lives. I learned a lot, just kind of just being around everybody.
What was it like
So
being one of 3 men out of 20 ladies?
yeah,
And there were a lot of moms, like you're right.
there
There's a
were.
lot of ladies that I would have never met here and there just because it would be hard to cross paths.
Right. I, you know, it didn't really have much of an impact. I think it would have been nice to have a couple other guys just to have probably some more friends in town. Not to say that I'm not going to hang out with some of the gals, but it's just like I don't know.
You don't want to hang out with a lady in her late
Yeah,
50s?
no, no, that's no. I mean, I'm just most of the time guys tend to travel in packs, girls tend to travel in packs. That's just kind of the thing. Every once in a while we'll all get together, which that's fine and dandy.
And when James is more your age too.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun just meeting everybody, like Joey, like James, good people, like the rest of the crew. But as far as the number of women versus guys, not that big of a deal. Yeah,
Right.
it
It
was
was just
interesting.
unique. That's all.
It was interesting to hear the women's perspectives because they're very different than a guy thinks. And I mean, maybe I'm probably going to be canceled for saying that, but
No, you're spot
it's
on.
it's true, and I
it's,
I don't think that we should deny
it's
that.
taken you this long to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, we're just very different, and that's what makes Auburn leadership great is because we're able to kind of work off of our pluses and minuses. So
Right. What'd you think about our project?
I thought it was great.
The
I mean,
Auburn
I
Quail Trail.
I was from the get go. I was very. I really wanted to have something that was going to last.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time. Something that we weren't going to have to go and paint all the time, and once the project's done, people usually kind of tend to fizzle out and not really show much interest. So I was all for having something that was going to be digital, something that was going to be around for a while, and also something that was going to bring not only more foot traffic to the town, but a little bit more collaborative effort between the two districts.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
And
I was totally
shopping
excited.
local.
Yeah,
Like
and
people got to
exactly.
eat. They got to buy. Oh, I should see if they have this in this store. Lots of cute
Sure.
stores, but
It
a lot of
highlights the beauty of the town.
yeah. And I will say that when I walked my group, we
Mm-hmm.
had a launch party a couple weeks ago towards from downtown to Old Town. A lot of people get a little uncomfortable because 80 comes off right there
Mm-hmm.
at the courthouse, and they did a great job with the pathways and
Mm-hmm.
showing you with the crosswalks too. What's the easiest way?
Sure.
And sometimes there's a crosswalk where you don't have to wait at a light.
Right.
There's no traffic. Just do it. Go
Mm-hmm.
across, and boom, you're right there.
Yeah.
It
No, I
was it
agree.
was great. And just walking down the hill, Commercial Street, a lot of people get a little lazy about that because it's a steep hill, but it's totally worth it. There's a lot of great shops right there too.
Absolutely. And we
Yeah.
highlighted a lot of spots that most people would, never even know or think to go and look at.
Is there something that
Um,
you forgot about that? Since speaking of that you noticed or stood out to you?
I would say the Armed Forces Garden here in
Mm-hmm.
Auburn, where we had our
You
opening.
don't hang out in the garden all the
I never
time.
would have gone. I didn't even know that was back there.
There's a lot of people that said that showed
I had
up.
no idea, and I thought, wow, what a neat little place. And what I actually really enjoyed was the fact that there was a number of people that brought strollers in with their kids. It was like a couple of gals that just wanted to kind of do something. They were from Folsom, and I'm thinking, well, you got Folsom to walk around, but they came up to Auburn, but they said they wanted to do that because the foot traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to get out of all the craziness down there. So they came up to Auburn, and then they didn't even know about this. They just saw a lot of people walking in, and they saw our sign, and so they clicked the QR code, and then they came in, and they were just like, "This is absolutely amazing."
That's
And
awesome.
so they were texting their friends about it. But it was kind of neat to see that it was bringing families, young families, people that wanted to just get out and be active. And then we also obviously saw a number of elderly people as well. So I think we really hit all the age marks on everything. It was
Right, because we talked about that in leadership. We're like
yeah,
we were thinking about helping just seniors and how to
right,
merge youth with seniors, and we
yeah,
did that. We had a
hmm,
lot of things come together just with this trail.
yeah, yeah.
And dogs, lots of dogs. I didn't
Lots
see
of
any cats being
animals.
walked.
I'm sure that'll be coming down the pipeline soon. And maybe some hamsters and
A
anyways,
ferret.
yeah, probably Nothing's out
I've
of
photographed
reach
ferrets
these days.
before,
I believe it.
5 of them, when I was a
Wow.
pet photographer.
Jeez.
That would be my most unusual career thing that happened when I was a photographer. I photographed ferrets coming out of a box. Bing. Yeah, see, I think I topped you.
Absolutely. Before we even sat down. Rory McIntosh.
So, Christian, before we finish up this interview, I got a brief tour of your office, and I saw some bottles up here, and you told me most of them were gifts, but tell me, what's your favorite? Because that's important to know.
So my favorite is actually the E.H. Taylor.
Oh, at the very top.
Small batch.
It has its own special case, yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's
I do like bourbon. I like kind of the history of it. I like the fact that it takes, at least 4 years to be made in American oak barrels, and
it probably takes 4 years for your liver to actually metabolize it completely.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do that
I'm
research.
just speaking from my experiences.
I don't do that research. I just appreciate the fact that it's something that takes a long time, and when it comes out of a barrel, it tastes very good. Wine does that as well, I know, but bourbon, not so much whiskey. Bourbon is American made.
Yeah, sounds like you need a trip to Kentucky.
Absolutely.
Tasting.
Soon enough, when I get some time, absolutely.
Now, did you get engaged during leadership, or were you already engaged?
Already engaged.
Okay, yes. And now you guys got a house, and
yep.
And do you have a dog?
No, we don't have a dog.
Okay, you need to get a dog to complete the family.
Don't let her see this video.
Okay, she'll see it.
She's interested in the dog. I said we could compromise with a goldfish.
A ferret.
But goldfish, apparently, you can't really take it out on. So anyways.
True. I have goldfish in 4 horse troughs. You're welcome to come by and take one. Nobody will notice.
There we go.
And I won't be upset.
I'll take it on the trail.
Yes.
Put a little leash on it.
A little plastic bag so everyone could see it and say hi.
Yes.
But make sure it gets some air.
I will.
I don't really know how that works, but I'm sure you can pull it off.
YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, it used to be when in doubt, just Google it. Now it's watch a YouTube video.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Thank God for YouTube.
Okay, I think we're good, but I have one more question. What's your favorite restaurant in town? Don't say Monkey Cat because it's right there.
No. And no disrespect to Monkey Cat, but no, it's not Monkey Cat. I tend to go to Club Car quite often.
Buffalo Burger?
No, actually, I like their what is it? The All American. I think it's the All American.
Western with bacon.
Yes, that's the
barbecue
one.
Sauce.
Yes,
that's Nigel's favorite burger. That's the only reason why I know that one.
But we usually go on Thursdays for prime rib.
Oh, okay.
So I do like to go there for prime rib, and then we also get. So she'll usually get like wine or a cocktail, but I like to get bourbon because they have a very good bourbon
drink with the it's like a smoking gun.
I don't. I do just a straight pour of like a special bottle that they have behind.
You're kind of missing out because they have candied bacon that they put on top, and Nigel gets that just for the bacon, and then he dips it in his bourbon. It's so gross.
Club Car's a great little establishment. We really enjoyed it since we moved into town or up here.
You should do karaoke night. We should invite all the leadership ladies, Joey and James, and have you sing like B-52s. Do you know who they are?
No.
It's like, oh my God, whatever. Van Halen?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know any.
That's an easy one though.
I cheated.
Saying ACDC.
Did you know Mick Jagger is still alive?
I believe it.
Well, I'm so glad I got to see you. I hope I see you around town.
Yes.
Club Car. Thanks for your time.
Don't be a stranger. Thank you.